What's up, guys? We're gonna bro beats. I'm gonna be showing you guys a melody grind guide. If you guys haven't subbed already, or turned on notifications, do so because it does help it a lot. Let's hop right into it. So simply for this guide, you want to make 2 melodies every day that sound good to you, right? So something you're happy with. That's the goal of this, and that's why it's only 2. Now you don't have to do it every single day, but if you want to do the grind part of it, you could do this every day for a week, right? So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna grab in a scale and let's run with. Let's do an F major, okay? And we can transpose later if the notes are too low, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first step to this guide will be just making a basic chord progression, and then you kind of want to animate that. So this will be slightly more advanced because you will be needing to kind of know how to do this stuff, and I'll go through it. But the most important part you need to know to do this on your own, you just need to know some chord progressions, right? So there are plenty of chord progressions online you can look for that are free that you can get. I have some, other people have them. You can download them and use those chords, right? So that is the only hard part about this. Other than that, everything is streamlined. So here's the first sound. The sound doesn't really matter. We're just worried about the placement of notes. I'm gonna move this down a bit. All right, so first, let's, just for time's sake, let's be generic and let's literally just do something like this. For our little bass line, and then you can literally flip this. So you can just do something like this. Simple as that. So now we have our little bass line. So that's like the little first step to building this. And now what we want to do is just make the chords out of this. So you could pull it up an octave, right? And I'm gonna do this part slow, and I might fast forward through like the repetitive parts. And then from here, you just make a chord all the way up. Okay, and then now we would animate this, and simply we can just do something like this. Right, it's already starting to sound like a melody, right? So I'm gonna just do that with every single one. And I'm gonna try to keep it real time as best I can, but if it takes too long on this part, I'll just speed it up. Right, and then we can literally just use this and repeat this over and over. Let's take that away. Let's try this. Okay, I like that. So over here, I'm just gonna do the same thing pretty much, and maybe just take some stuff away. So I'll fast forward a little bit, and we'll come back. All right, so for some variation, I just kind of changed up some of the notes, right? Just instead of having this up here like this, I just kind of doubled it and then used this for like some extra rhythm. Just some a little different, and then I just changed up this last note towards the end with these, right? So just a little bit of variation. So now what we can do is add something up here. And simply we could take this C, pull up an octave, and then from here we can kind of make a chord out of this. So we'll end up here. We'll have some notes to work with now. So, and then I'll place these based on where these other notes are. So I'll probably put this C somewhere in between. Probably like sit it somewhere here. Okay, I like that. So this is the melody, and this is the hardest part, right? Is animating it, and it's the most time consuming. But after you get this, and this is just a part of the guide, right? After you get this part, now we will move on to like the counters, and I'm gonna see what this sounds like back. Okay, I like that. So that is our main melody. So now we're gonna move on to our counters. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with our counter. Now, if you're someone at this point, you're like, man, it's not sounding full, etc. Well, make sure you have these three sections. You have the bass area, okay, and then you have your mid section, and this should be animated. Now, depending on your sound selection that you have, you might not even need to animate the chords, right? And then you want to have like this little top melody, right? And this should help it sound full, right? But just don't place random notes. Actually try to make it sound good, right? So let's go over here, and here is the sound for the counter. And then actually what we can do is use the beginning of this top melody for our counter. Now, when you're making the counter right here, right? So halfway through this bar, these are the spots right here where you kind of want to put these, right? If you want to kind of follow the formula all the way through, right? So this is how we can kind of keep it rappable while still kind of adding that stuff. So I'm gonna move this over. I'm trying to make this a little large. All right. See if we can do a flam. Okay, so we can kind of put it there, and then over here I'm gonna just copy it so we get the placement, and then we can just move some of these notes around. And I'm thinking I want it to go up, like somewhere up here. So let's see if we can. And let's do 1/4. Zoom in. Gotta fix these a bit. So I want to hear what that sounds like all together. Now I kind of like it right here. All right, so that is the counter. So now what we're gonna do is layer our next counter. All right, so now we're just gonna layer our counter we just made, and this is the sound that I'm using for that. Now you don't need to do this, but I recommend it because it'll just make it sound a little bit more full and stronger. So copy, paste, and then we can pull it up an octave so like it has a little bit more range when we play together. And then I'm gonna just add some new sounds. Just maybe before we could maybe just do something simple like that. Right, just so it's a little different. And then up here, let's make a chord up. And then we can use this. Like this. Okay, I like that. So that's pretty easy, just layer it. Now we're gonna move on to the last step, which is just adding a separate kind of counter. Okay, so now we're gonna do our second counter or second melody, whichever you want to call it. So this is the sound that I'm using, okay? Now the reason we want to do this is so that it's not repetitive, because we could just play this the whole time. But that will literally play the whole time. So maybe on the verse, we would like to add something else, right? So that's why we make the second one. So I'm gonna mute these. And then I already showed you the sound. So with this, simply what we can do is just use a fifth. Now this is like a little hack you can use for your counters. So basically we can put it on the roots, which is F, and then you go up 6 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then place the note and you have your 5th. Or if you're lazy, you can just come up here and it's just easier that way. So now what I'm gonna do is pull this up an octave, and I'm gonna take this F because I want to end on the F, and then pull it up an octave like that. And let's just move all this over so it's like in order. And then let's just go up like that. Let's see. Okay, I like that. So let's pull it up for variation and let's see what it sounds like. Right, and we have a lot of space, so be careful when making these, because sometimes if you add too much and it's like a lot going on, it'll make it unwrappable. So you want to kind of be aware of that. So that is our counter. So now the last part is the effects, and all of this is a part of the guide as well. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now we're gonna do some effects, and the reason I'm adding this part to the guide is because a lot of people forget to actually process their melodies, right? And a lot of the sound selection is the sound design sometimes, right? So we got to kind of mesh this together. So I have some plugins up here, and I just put some delays. You can copy the presets if you need, and I'll just play them. All right, very simple stuff. All right, just to make it a little bit more ambient. I'm gonna go light on the processing. So basically we want to pan it, level it, and then EQ them. So I'm gonna go through and do all those, and I'm gonna just do these first. Take out some of this bass. Then we could do this one. Okay, and I think that would be good. Okay, and then on the end, I have a EQ, and this is where I will just kind of enhance a little bit. So if I need to bring some of the like lower frequencies in, I can, but I'll probably just like do something like this. These aren't supposed to be playing at the same time. But you get the point. So that's gonna be it for this video. So for the actual guide, you just want to run through all those steps, and then you can, if you want to be lazy, you can just kind of do what I did, or if you want to take it further, you can. But you want to make 2 a day. Okay, now how long to do it, I don't know, it's up to you, but 2 of these full melodies a day. And the reason it's 2 and not 5 is so you can really hone in and make a really good melody that you like. Okay. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.